What's going on, guys? It's Nick here, back with another video. It's Monday. It's time for the mock draft Monday. We have done half PPR back-to-back weeks. We have done Superflex. We have done 10-team. Let's go back. Let's do our classic full PPR 12-team league. We've done drafts from, I don't know why my mouse isn't working there very much. We've done drafts from, let's see, 2, 5, 7, 10, and 12. So we're not going to do 12. Once we get one that is not one of those numbers, that'll be what we'll do next. 6. Lovely. Close to last week, but also last week was a 10-team league, so completely different. Setup wise, what do we want to do? 2 running back, 2 wide receiver. Let's stick with the non-3 wide receiver. I do believe in the last full PPR one we did 3 wide receiver spots. I know we've done one that had 2 flex spots. Let's go with the basics. 2 running backs, 2 receiver, no super flex, no tight end premium, bench. We'll throw defense back in, but it's completely irrelevant. I had someone ask actually the other day, they're like, Nick, the kickers and defenses are not in the rankings. They're not going to be. Deciding this year, I'm just not including them. Once we get closer, there's going to be just a separate rankings. So I'm going to post like a kicker rankings and defense rankings. Always take them in the last 2 rounds. I do not care which one you take. It's honestly a personal preference. But yeah, last 2 rounds, and they're not going to be in the normal rankings. You're going to have to go to a separate rankings thing for that. I think that makes the most sense. Just encourage everyone to not draft them until the last 2 rounds. This is new, not new like this season, as in new right now. Why don't we add this in and see what happens? Do we want to view this? You guys want to see what this like looks like? What would composite be? So it's just, oh, okay. So just pulling, it's pulling ESPN. Well, we can probably make a better composite than they can. So let's do ESPN and sleeper. I don't really want to use composite best ball because that's best ball. It's a little bit different. So let's do these 2. Let's see how that kind of works out. In a PPR league, I think we can keep wide receivers and running backs pretty normal. We'll go slightly high for quarterback just because in general people go slightly high at quarterback. I'm going to keep everything else. We'll just do slightly high at quarterback, and we'll start our draft. So let's see how this team works out. We're the 6th spot. We might get one of the elite wide receivers. Ooh, we are going to. Wow. Okay, so we'll pull the draft board here. We'll get back to the other page in a second. Christian McCaffrey, Jonathan Taylor, Austin Eckler, Derrick Henry, and DeAndre Swift. I'd be a little bit surprised if it worked out this way. Perhaps adding in ESPN, because again, we've not done a draft on ESPN. Don't really recommend touching ESPN for a while. Many people ask about that. It's really just like, let's say you go onto ESPN. ESPN needs to build a simulator, but you're just not, like, everyone leaves in like the 5th round, and so you're not getting, it takes a long time to do, and then also you're just not getting like a very accurate depiction of it. But I think using their ADPs into this might make a little bit of sense. But yeah, basically, let's say you have an actual like ESPN league. Don't do a draft on ESPN until like, you know, the week before your draft. Then maybe you can start doing some mock drafts there, but they take so long. Like just do a bunch of these. Do some underdog drafts, like just obviously know the differences, but like I don't like just like drafting on ESPN. But anyways, we're using a little bit of their composite ADP on this one. The pick here has to be Cooper Kupp. We'll put the cheat sheet here and we'll hide drafted players. I understand you want to go with running backs early on. That's what the research shows, but like this is a whole tier here of Najee, Cook, Mixon. Don't really care which one you get there, but to take one of them this early in the draft when you have Cooper Kupp, like I would have taken Cooper Kupp there. I'd take Justin Jefferson there. I'd take Jamar Chase, who's behind Adams once we put in the composite of sleeper and ESPN. That feels wrong, but it doesn't really matter. Our decision here is Cooper Kupp. We have to talk too much about that. After that, looks like a lot of running backs. So I wonder if those sites are very running back heavy right now. Unfortunately, a little bit of a turn here. So there was huge value. This person got Jefferson and Chase. We got that in our 10-team league draft we did a little while ago. But really, really nice value for everyone that got like an elite running back with these guys right here. We'll see what's left with us there. But after a Cooper Kupp pick, we got Najee Harris, Barkley in the 1st round. Wow, aggressive. Jeez. Mixon, Jefferson, Aaron Jones, and Dalvin Cook. Starting round 2, Chubb, Mark Andrews, Chase, Kelsey, Adams, Diggs. Round 2, that looks pretty normal. I don't think anything was crazy there. So in our pick, the 2 tight ends are gone. We're not going to go tight end. It's too early for quarterback. You don't take quarterback the first, probably not the first 3 rounds of the season, so we're not going to go there. So it's running back and wide receiver. Top running backs on the board, Alvin Kamara, Leonard Fournette, Jameson Williams. That's probably like pretty clearly the top 3. I don't really know if we'd be considering anyone else. At wide receiver, CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek Hill, Keenan Allen, Debo, but I'm thinking CeeDee Lamb is also the clear option, and I'm thinking it's Kamara and CeeDee Lamb are the pretty clear top 2. I did pull up my my rankings so that we can kind of go over here and just reference them. Cooper Kupp was my number 3 player, so getting him at 6 was a really nice value. Between those guys, I have CeeDee Lamb at 15 and Alvin Kamara at 16. That's what I thought off the top of my head. Interesting. We have the option to test out like a mini RB0 team right now. And if we kind of think about our next pick, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's going to be 10 picks that go by between us and our next one. If we think about who that's going to be, maybe we see a tight end, maybe we see a quarterback, but it's probably going to be, I would guess, 8 to 9, 8 being the minimum running backs and wide receivers. And so if we took Lamb here, we're probably seeing Tyreek Hill, Keenan Allen, Debo Samuel, and probably Mike Evans off the board. And then we're going to see Kamara, Fournette, Williams, Connor. I would say this 8 up here is probably gone. So we might be able to do this because if we can get Lamb and maybe we get lucky with Evans or like AJ Brown or Deontay Johnson, that'd be a really, really cool start and very interesting to see if we can attack these running backs in the middle rounds. And I kind of want to do that. And I like, also there's obviously the risk with Alvin Kamara of the suspension. I have no inside information on that. I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen. Like we said, okay, so it worked out pretty much exactly like we said. We see 8 of the running backs and wide receivers go. Pitts goes at the end of round 2. Josh Allen goes in round 3. We only see Tyreek Hill, Debo Samuel, and Keenan Allen come off the board. And wide receiver would have been really nice to get Keenan Allen there. And then Alvin Kamara, Jameson Williams, Fournette, Gibson, and James Conner come off the board at running backs. So we've got Lamb. We've got Cooper Kupp. Really nice wide receiver core to start out. We're at pick 30. We've got the option of Kittle and Herbert. Again, we're not going to go with those 2. We're sticking running back and wide receiver here. We can do Mike Evans. And I think Evans, for me, I'm pretty sure is over. Yeah. Evans is 23. And let's see, AJ Brown is 37 actually, so a pretty significant gap. I guess that would probably be play volume. It would be level of competition, at least to start the season's gonna be different. Montgomery would be the top running back on the board here, but he is behind. I still have him as a value. Actually, it's like appropriately valued 30s at David Montgomery, but I think this is really good value for Mike Evans. I think we talked about, wanting to test out RB0, and if you can start off your draft. I'll pull up our team here in a second on the left. Starting off a draft with, this heavy of wide receiver in a full PPR league. This is a really, really nice start. All different bye weeks for those of you who actually care about that. Cooper Kupp, CeeDee Lamb, Mike Evans. This is rock solid. Now, again, this is an experiment. Let's just see how running backs kind of work out. But I think this is a really good start. We're in round 4. Pull this up. Actually, yeah, I'll go over what we kind of had happen. So we see another set of 2 non-skill player wouldn't be the right word, but non-running back and wide receivers off the board. Patrick Mahomes, end of round 3. George Kittle, beginning of round 4. So we're not going to go quarterback. We're not going to go tight end at this pick. You can go Darren Waller. I'm not going to. Wide receiver, more heavy than running back on this one. AJ Brown, Higgins, Deontay Johnson, Pittman, Cooper, Waddle, McLaurin, all of that is completely normal. Dave Montgomery, Akers, Dobbins, all of that is normal. So these ADPs are making a lot of sense right now. If we look at wide receiver, DJ Moore actually kind of is a tier break here. Cooks is definitely below. Metcalf, in full PPR especially, until they get a new quarterback, is below. Sutton is actually probably in the same tier as DJ Moore. So Sutton, DJ Moore, we're not going to go with Godwin because we have Mike Evans. And then everything else below. Oh, Mike Williams. Okay, Mike Williams looks like, because we're using composite here, on ESPN, on Sleeper, Mike Williams might be a really, really big value in drafts right now. So Moore, Sutton, and Williams. With this ADP, that means there's a possibility we could get Sutton or Mike Williams at our next pick. In which case, like, I know we're saying like RB0 here, but we're very unlikely to go 5 wide receivers. We should, at this point, be taking a running back. And because there's a possibility we can get one of those two at our next pick, that is insane value. Okay. We have the option here, choosing our favorite running back. That's going to be an interesting decision for us. So right now we're going with running back. It's going to be interesting when we get to this next pick. We're probably going to have the choice between one of Sutton or Mike Williams, or maybe like one of Miles Sanders or Clyde. And that's going to be a big decision point for our draft. And do we just hammer out that wide receiver spot, load up on it, and abandon running back a little longer? Or do we double dip? We take like a Zeke and maybe a Zeke and Etienne, maybe I know I have Etienne. Is it big? No, it's not a big difference. That's a really, really difficult one. My rankings say take Etienne, value 4.6, Zeke 3.8. That is a 13.6 full PPR point projection difference. That's not a small difference. That's, I mean, nearly a point per game. I'm projecting better for Travis Etienne over Ezekiel Elliott. The question is, I mean, projection-wise here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 picks on the board to get to Etienne. You know that Zeke is not going to be there at the next pick. There's at least a possibility that Etienne is. And do I think it's worth the risk? Don't take Etienne, take Zeke. Even if you don't end up with Etienne, you can get Miles Sanders, you can get Clyde. That wouldn't be like the end of the world. It would be a significant drop-off. And honestly, it might push us to go with a Sutton or a Mike Williams at the next pick. But I feel like it might be worth it for us because it would be such an insane start to get, and we're not going to get it if we take Etienne here. I think we do it. I think we do it. I think it's worth the risk because even the downside is we just hammered out wide receiver and it's like an unreal start for wide receiver. So let's take the risk. Let's see if he's going to be there at the next pick. Unlikely to happen. He hasn't been taken yet. Oh my goodness. He goes the pick before. So off the board after us, DJ Moore, Darren Waller, Brandon Cooks, Justin Herbert, Breece Hall, Elijah Moore, DK Metcalf, Allen Robinson, Jacobs, Etienne, our pick. So we just miss out on like a dream start, honestly, in this draft. But it's okay. Sutton's on the board. Mike Williams is on the board. There's a chance. Slim chance. Sutton will obviously be gone. He's a top player on the board right now. He won't be there at our next pick. Who do I have between... I have Mike Williams ahead of Sutton, but it's not significant. Value of 2 for Mike Williams, value of 1.3 for Sutton. It's a 12 total point difference. And it does look like, yeah, Sutton would be like the best pick here, even at the running back position. Yeah. So Sutton is still the top player, or no? What did I just... Mike Williams is ahead of Sutton. I flipped that around. But it's the same ADP thing. Is there a chance I could get Sutton and Mike Williams? What I need to think about, though, is the running back position. I've abandoned quarterback, but that's not a concern. I've abandoned tight end, that's not a concern for me. Abandoning running back 1 more brings up the risk that my running back 2 is like Chase Edmonds or Kenneth Walker. And I think what I would rather risk is grab my running back, hope that Mike Williams is there because I have Mike Williams right ahead of Sutton anyways, instead of taking Sutton and hoping that a running back is there, because I think that the detriment to my team in not taking a running back here is greater. So if we only look at running backs, I'm pretty sure, yeah, Miles Sanders is the top option. And we don't need to really play the ADP game with this one because I definitely do prefer him. Yeah, I prefer him by like a good amount over Dillon and over Mitchell. And I really don't think I'll be able to double dip with Miles Sanders in the next one. So yeah, I'm thinking you just take Sanders. I think my Bluetooth mouse is just like completely dying on us here because it keeps lagging. Oh, we're not going to get it. Yeah, Mike Williams goes. That's unfortunate. That would have been, it probably would have been a little bit unfair to actually get that. I mean, Mike Williams is like a third round pick. So maybe we should have gone with him. Maybe we can look back at this and say, would have you rather just taken Alvin Kamara at this pick? I mean, let's think about that. If we had taken Alvin Kamara at 2 and just pretend that everything else worked out the same, it probably would have. Like, this team may have just taken CeeDee Lamb, so everything would have been normal. I feel like we actually would have ended up taking Mike Williams in like round 4 over Zeke. So I don't want to do the comparison in round 5. Which would we prefer? Would you prefer CeeDee Lamb? Oh, I didn't even realize that I took 2 of the Dallas players. That's not a huge concern for me. Dallas is, relatively concentrated offense, really good offense. If you're going to take 2 players, Dallas is one of the teams you're willing to do that on. So don't worry about that too much. But yeah, would you rather have Lamb and Zeke, or would you rather have Alvin Kamara and Mike Williams? It definitely is just like completely dying. You can turn it back off and on. All right. I'm going to go over to the rankings on this page, and maybe we can do a little bit of quick math. Last time I did quick math, I had to close the video and see if I could do the math on my own. All right. CeeDee Lamb, value 5.8. Ezekiel Elliott, value 3.8. So we're looking at 10.6 if we combine those two. Which is better? Alvin Kamara, value 5.7. Okay. Mike Williams, value 2. So it's actually way better. Interesting. Huh. All right. Well, according to my values, we actually got the correct duo in getting those 2. Maybe I'm too low on Mike Williams. Have him as a 4th round pick. I mean, he's going like the 3rd round, but I mean, it's just crazy how much his ADP has been climbing. But yeah, on Underdog, he's like the 13th wide receiver off boards right now, which is nuts. All right, but well, my rankings say that we actually got the correct pick. So that's where we are. Zeke, Miles Sanders, Cooper Kupp, CeeDee Lamb, Mike Evans. Again, full PPR format, 12 teams. On the board for running back, A.J. Dillon, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, tier break for me. I'm thinking that's kind of a tier break. Next up, you kind of get into that like Hunt, Edmonds. We're not going to go with Tony Pollard because we already have 2 Dallas players and one of them is a running back. Kenneth Walker, like you're getting into lesser options. So it would be nice to get one of A.J. Dillon or Clyde here. On pretty sure my pick would end up being Clyde. I can look that up. Yeah, Clyde. So that's an option. Wide receiver, like Judy, I think you can take a shot on Michael Thomas at this pick. Marquis Brown, I have poo-pooed at times, but that's because he goes pretty early on Underdog. I think way too early. At this spot, this is a much, much better value for Marquis Brown, so that's an option. Owner St. Brown, I tweeted out the other day. Jameson Williams, I don't expect him back until like week 7. They're going to be slow in returning him. I think I tweeted out it was like he tore the ACL, I believe, 34 days before Odell, and people are like, oh, Odell's not back till like December, like January. It seems like earliest November for Odell. And if Jameson Williams tore the ACL a month before that, his timeline is going to be, like only like, a month prior. And you could say maybe he returns quicker, but like everything they've said, like they love this kid. They love him long-term. They're willing to wait. And so they're going to bring him back slowly, and they have a week 6 bye. So it makes all the sense in the world. Like, why would they bring him back if he's not 1,000% healthy in like week 5? They're going to wait for week 6, week 7. And so it just seems like, and again, you're not going to start him in the first game back either. So he would need to return in like week 3, week 4 for you to actually use him before week 7. And I just bring that up because Amon-Ra St. Brown is this like huge value right now. He really is. People don't understand that his role is locked in on this team. And it's going to be really nice over the first month to 2 months of the season. And even when Williams returns, he's not going to be a target hog. I love Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's going way too late in drafts. Don't think we're going to be able to double dip, unfortunately. I would love to get Clyde and St. Brown here. I don't think it's going to end up happening. So we need to kind of choose one, whichever one we think will be better off with our team. And I'm thinking it is Clyde, just because when I'm looking at these wide receivers, if we don't get St. Brown, Juju would be fine, Thielen be fine, Lockett, Renfro, Devonta Smith. We could get Hopkins, honestly, at this point, because we're not even starting him. We're cool with the suspension. He can come back later and be awesome for us. Gabriel Davis, like, there's a lot of options that aren't a significant drop-off. Of course, we like St. Brown, but There's so many options beyond that. There are not as many options we feel comfortable with the running back position. So I say we take Clyde, someone that I do think has a lot of upside this season. Doesn't look like St. Brown is going to be there. He is not. Wow. Big run at the wide receiver position. So after we pick, no running backs actually come off the board. Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott go in the 6th round. That's normal. And we get Judy, St. Brown in a row now. St. Brown, Wilson, Devonta Smith, Marquis Brown, Michael Thomas, DeAndre Hopkins, and Tyler Lockett. So everyone locking up their wide receivers, which is something we're going to see this season. You're going to see heavy running back start shifting over, and then boom, you're going to see these huge runs at wide receiver as people really start capitalizing on those, especially in full PPR. But someone should have gone with Dylan. Dylan is still going to have some receptions. He's not a 0 in PPR. Unbelievable upside if Aaron Jones got hurt. Like running back 1 easy every single week. And even when Jones is healthy, he's still someone you're filling in. And if I abandon the position for a little bit, Zeke, Miles Sanders, Clyde, and AJ Dillon is a rock solid running back core. But to go along with Cooper Kupp, CeeDee Lamb, Mike Evans, that's really, really good. Now, I would love to grab Adam Thielen here. I would love to grab Juju here. I'd love to grab Renfrow here. I think that is those are really good options, especially in the 6th, 7th round of this format. Possibility I can get Thielen or Renfrow. I'm not going to get Juju, but I don't think I can pass up that value of AJ Dillon. I think it'd be very, very intelligent of us to grab him, take that value. We're looking at tight end. There's nothing. We're looking at quarterback. There's nothing screaming to me. I think you just have to. You have to take Dillon. You have to. There's just nothing. There's nothing you can do there. Unfortunately, like seems to always happen to us. Don't get the value. We're actually not getting very lucky in this draft. Thielen goes. Renfrow goes. Juju goes. Ayuk goes. Running back, now we see a run after us. Kenneth Walker, Hunt, Edmonds, Harris, Pollard, Singletary. Lock them off the board. Interesting for us. We go with the classic wide receiver, running back build. So our team now, Cooper Kupp, CeeDee Lamb, Mike Evans, Zeke, Miles Sanders, Clyde, and AJ Dillon. I feel good about those cores. As I've said before, we're at the point of tight end where it's like, just wait. I know that Zach Ertz is a nice value here, but when you get to this point for tight end, it's like, I think Ertz is better, but like I think Fairmouth could have a phenomenal season. Knox could have a great season. Clement, I think, is going to surprise people. Noah Fant could break out. Albert O could break out. We go down to like Irv Smith. I don't think there's a huge difference, and I would much rather wait. So wait at tight end. Running back, I don't think anyone is like a steal here. Totally fine with Melvin Gordon. James Cook is fine. Ramondre Stevenson's fine here. Nyheim Hines. But the value of our team grabbing a 5th running back at this point, huge marginal utility there. Like not as good returns on running back. We're going to wait. So we're not doing tight end, not doing running back. At wide receiver, we can definitely go back to because we now only have 3. Even though they're an elite 3, we've got great value at that position. We still only have 3. Gabriel Davis would be a really nice pick here. Drake London would be solid. Burks, Christian Kirk. Yeah, I think they kind of have it right. I'm thinking Gabriel Davis here. I've seen some people in the industry a little bit off of him, and I understand the argument against him. Basically that like he hasn't done a whole lot thus far in his career. He's not some like insane man beater. Like if you look at his like success rates, they're not like crazy good. But he's also very, very young. There are a lot of rookies this season that are very close to him in age. So, complaining that he hasn't like broken out yet. It's like, well, he's not exactly like an old wide receiver. He's very young coming into the league. And just if he is going to win that number 2 job, which he's going to, right? You just know Shakir's a full-time slot receiver. Crowder's going to be in the slot. McKenzie, slot receiver. Like you just know for a fact that Davis, especially in a team that runs a lot of multi-wide receiver sets, he's going to be on the field a ton. You don't need to be some incredible man beater. You just need to have Josh Allen as your quarterback running a bunch of deep routes, and that's what's going to happen with Gabriel Davis. So I think he can develop. I think he can be a phenomenal play. Obviously, he has upside. I think it's a rock solid pick, especially because it's behind Cooper Kupp, CeeDee Lamb, Mike Evans. It's behind all these guys we just know for like 100% sure they're going to work out if they don't get hurt. Now we can kind of take that risk with Gabriel Davis. So we'll go there. After that pick, we're kind of nearing the end of the optimal time to take quarterback, and so we can start looking in that range. I'm going to come over here and sort by quarterback rankings. I actually don't know who I have between Tom Brady and Russell Wilson. I'm pretty sure it's Tom Brady. They're back-to-back. So actually, I have Wilson. It's not like huge. It's 1.5 value better, but I do have Wilson ahead of Tom Brady. Both of them are great values here. They only have 4-spot difference, even though there's a tier break. That probably shouldn't. I guess you could argue that's a tier break. I'm actually going to post a video on the I'm posting like 4 videos. I'm recording all of them today. On the website, kind of going over my thoughts around tier breaks and kind of how to use them and kind of how it's a little bit, to me, overused in the industry, just how arbitrary they are. But yeah, if you have access to the site, I'm gonna make a video on that. Maybe when you're watching this, it's up, so go check that out. There's gonna be like a few videos that I kind of post on there. But yeah, I don't really know that there should be a tier break there, but I guess it could be argued. So we would go with Wilson. I really think he's going to have a phenomenal season. If this were Underdog, you would obviously go with Tom Brady here and stack him with our Mike Evans pick. You do not need to stack in season-long fantasy. Just take whichever option you think is better when you're at this quarterback spot. And I do give a slight lean to Russell Wilson. I just think he's going to have such a good year this season. So we got Russell Wilson. If we're looking at any other spot, I just don't see any sort of reason not to take it here. Like, why risk it? I know we could maybe get one of them in the next round, but there's just no reason to risk not getting our quarterback here. So let's take it. There was nothing at any of these other spots that indicated we should go with them because we're like, desperate for them. So the team, again, Russell Wilson, Zeke, Miles Sanders, Cooper Kupp, CeeDee Lamb, Mike Evans, bench, Clyde, Dylan, and Gabriel Davis. Really, really nice team so far. So we're not going to take quarterback here, obviously. If we want to take a second one, we can do that with our last pick. We can start looking at the tight end position. Ertz is still on the board. He's a really nice value. I can pull up my tight end rankings here. We will minimize quarterback, bring up tight end. I have Zach Ertz as the 7th pick in the 8th round, pick 91 overall. 9th tight end off the board. So a big value. If we're at the 7th pick in the 10th round, he's my value. 7th pick in the 8th round, that's a good pick. But I also think that Freiermuth is a good pick here. Again, Dawson Knox is a good pick here. And actually, I have Knox 1 spot ahead of Zach Ertz. So part of me wants to risk it. What you want to do when you have situations like this is look, what do the people over here have? We have a Pitts team, we have a Darren Waller team, and a lot of teams with no tight ends. So of the 5 teams that we'll be picking here, 3 of them don't have a tight end. So we could absolutely see, honestly, we could see 3 tight ends come off the board. We could see Ertz, Freiermuth, and Knox all come off the board. So that's going to be in the back of our mind. Wide receiver, I don't see anything that we're super concerned with missing out on. Parker and Landry are the 2 that jump out to me, but I'd be cool with Sky Moore, MVS, Tim Patrick, not with this pick, but later on. Dotson, we love. There are options. There are options later on. So I don't think we need to go wide receiver here. Would love to get Hines on the roster. And I do kind of see a drop-off there, although no, we could get Rachaad White, but I think Hines is pretty clearly someone that we would want. We've got 4 bench spots and tight end before we do defense. I think 2 of those bench spots absolutely need to be running back, wide receiver. I would say we probably need 2 wide receivers on the bench. So we need 1 spot for running back, 2 spots for wide receiver, and then we'll think about if we want to go backup tight end. It kind of depends what we want to do at that pick with what happens at tight end. I feel like I want to finish off running back here, take Hines, We'll go from a position that I was abandoning early on to one I feel very, very confident in. I'll feel good if we have Zeke, Sanders, Clyde, Dillon, and Hines in a full PPR format. I feel very confident in that like 5 running backs. I think we can find value at wide receiver. I guess my only thing with running back is I'd be fine with Darrell Williams. I'd be fine with Rashad White. Like finishing things off, and there might be someone below there. I can't even click the show now, so we'll just wait. And would I be fine missing out on tight end? ADP wise, they're saying Knox, Gesicki, Ertz, Freiermuth, Knox, all might come off the board the next pick. I really think they could. And so I think the sharp thing would be take the tight end you want. Make sure you don't get into that next tier. Hope that Hines is there. If he's not, we can get one of the lower end running backs, and we'll attack wide receiver later on. I think that's the best move if we're in this spot. And again, just so I don't get it wrong, Knox is our top option, though I would be totally fine with like whatever one you would want to go with in that spot. I just think, well, do we want to go with Knox because we have Gabriel Davis? I think that's fine. The only risk is that we have Sanders, Kupp, Gabriel Davis, and Knox all on bye in week 7. But they're different positions, so it hurt us more if they were like all the same spot. We could get by because we would just move Lamb and Evans into the wide receiver spot, so that takes care of Kupp. For running backs, we can shift Clyde up. We can put Dillon into the flex. That's not a problem. We'll have a bench spot so we can figure out tight end for. So, yeah, we could pretty easily get around that, so that's not too big of a deal. It looks like, all right, Ertz and Freiermuth is still there, so maybe we should have waited, but Hines is still there. So let's just make sure we get Hines, grab him, and now we'll get 2 wide receivers. All right, I like how this is working out. I'll pull up the draft board because we haven't done that in a while, just to kind of show you guys what's been happening. Freiermuth and Ertz do go after our next pick, so they're both off the board. So it really wouldn't have mattered. We were kind of deciding, should we take Hines or Knox? Knox wouldn't have come off the board, so we could have taken Hines first, but Hines also didn't get drafted, so it was completely irrelevant. Chart goes, Sterling Shepard goes, not really guys that I'd be taking ahead, especially like Jameson Williams, even though if he's going to miss a while, like I'd still rather him over those 2. Lazard goes in the 10th. He's seeing some hype. Landry goes, that's a good pick. Parker goes, that's a good pick. Sky Moore, good pick. People getting really nice value at quarterback as well here. Okay. Think we're done running back. I think we're going to be done with that position. Maybe we take one in the last round. I don't think we will. At wide receiver, Rondelle Moore and MVS are options. MVS getting a lot of hype right now. I just struggle with MVS because like his success rate against man, zone, press are all putrid. Unbelievably bad. He is not a wide receiver that's going to line up and get open. The only thing he can do is get deep. Post routes, corner routes, go routes. That's it. Run deep downfield and get open. He is not going to beat press coverage. He's not going to beat man coverage. He's not going to do it. He's just going to run deep. And that has a lot of upside in a format like Underdog. On a season-long format, for me to start MVS ahead of Kupp, Lamb, Mike Evans, and Gabriel Davis, something went wrong. One of those guys got hurt. Now you can argue the bye weeks, but even then, Evans, Lamb, and Kupp have different bye weeks, so I can just start 2 of them all the time, unless one gets hurt. So I really, really need an injury for MVS to do anything, and then I'm just praying that this is the week he connects, and when he doesn't, he's probably going to have like 1 reception for 20 yards, and so that's going to be very frustrating. So I don't know that I would go with him in a format like this. Compare that to someone like Tim Patrick, like Jahan Dotson. I see a world where Tim Patrick carves out a role for himself in this Denver offense consistently. A spot maybe, what if like Judy gets hurt? Well, Tim Patrick's a wide receiver that can go out there and win. He's a wide receiver that can consistently get targets, and someone that like if I have to rely on, if they kind of fit their ceiling, I'm more relying on him saying, I know I'm going to get production, whereas MVS, I have no idea if it's coming. So I feel like MVS is like a pure best ball pick for me. So I would go Tim Patrick over him. I think I want to go Tim Patrick, Jahan Dotson with these next two. And then after that, I don't even know. I don't really know what would be best. I guess the data says we should go with a tight end. I guess part of me is thinking, like, if I think these guys are going to be there at the next pick, do I just grab another tight end that we love and Cole Kmet? No, why don't we wait? All right, here's what we'll do. Tim Patrick, if Kmet's there at the next pick, we can think about it. If not, we risk it again, grab Dotson. If he's there at the final pick, we take it. If not, we'll take Irv Smith. And then we'll go with defense after that. That's what I think the best finish here would be. So we take Tim Patrick. Kmet does come off the board. Oh, well, that's fine. We'll take Jahan Dotson here. Or do we need, hold on, let's look at our wide receivers. Do we need that pick at wide receiver? Cooper Kupp, CeeDee Lamb, Mike Evans, Gabriel Davis, Tim Patrick. We don't really need it. We're 3-3 or 5-5 at wide receiver, running back. I guess my thing is I don't think we need to grab like. I don't think we need to grab. I would say, like, should we just take our favorite between like Fant, Alberto, or Smith now, and then just kind of take who screams at us at running back or wide receiver? I don't feel a need to take any of those tight ends now. I can just wait till the next round if I really want to grab another tight end. Let's grab Dotson. He's a guy I like, having a phenomenal camp, kind of a really, really nice season. Nah, I'm good going with that, and I'm fine if tight ends come off the board and we don't end up getting who we want. Okay. Data says take a tight end here. If you don't like that, I'm fine with it. If you think Knox is going to be your guy all year, I'm fine with doing that. Your pick would basically be Williams, Darrell Williams at this spot. Yeah, I don't see anyone else. So it would be Darrell Williams or it would be Irv Smith. I'm going to go with Irv Smith because, again, that's what the data shows. It's difficult to hit on tight end. Give ourselves 2 chances. I think Knox will be good, but who knows? I think if we draft Irv Smith and Dawson Knox, do we know what the bye week is? I was literally just like, as long as it's not week 7. Because the thing is, it would help us not have to drop someone that we really like to get the bye in week 7. So maybe we don't. How close are like Tunyon? Oh, Tunyon's actually, I have 1 spot ahead at 124 and we're 163, so that's fine. I have 1 spot ahead. Week 14 bye. All right. Maybe we do this. I mean, because realistically, who are they throwing to, right? Especially in the red zone, they're going to love Tunyon. And he doesn't need to be back right away. Of course, I know he had the injury. He doesn't need to be back right away because I have Dawson Knox. So I think that's a good pick. And then we'll go to defense. Again, I have not done the defense rankings yet. I have to imagine the Chargers, because don't they have like a really nice start to the year? This is going to pull up. Oh, no, they don't. Well, if you can hold on. Raiders, that's going to be a tough game, but they have a good defense. I think you can do it, especially at home. At KC is going to be tough. But one thing I'll just mention is that scoring is not necessarily a hugely important thing in the scoring. Like, scoring against is not huge in defense. You want sacks, you want interceptions, fumble recoveries, touchdowns, all those things. And those things can absolutely happen in a high-scoring game. The difference between letting up 17 and 27 points is not that much. It's not that much. And if you're doing that in order to get the game against Jacksonville, at Houston, Cleveland with maybe no Watson, like those are 3 really nice games. And of course, the Chargers have a phenomenal defense. Who do the Broncos start off with? Didn't we look at this before and it was really good? Oh, that's nice. At Seattle, right now with True Lock or Geno Smith at quarterback, home against Houston. That's really nice. That's a good start, and I think that's what you would end up doing. But again, I'll go through and do a full thing there. We got a good grade, but we don't care about the grade. there we go. That's the team. Starting lineup. Russell Wilson, Zeke, Miles Sanders, Cooper Kupp, CeeDee Lamb, Dawson Knox, Mike Evans. Broncos defense. That's a really good starting lineup. Bench. Clyde, A.J. Dillon, Gabriel Davis, Naheem Hines, Tim Patrick, Dotson, and Tunyon. I think the bench could have been a little bit better, but I feel really good about the beginning of that bench. Clyde, Dillon, and Gabriel Davis, and then Hines. I have no problem there. You could argue that like Tim Patrick, Jahan Dotson, Tunyon isn't like fantastic, but Tunyon, that's such a good upside pick for the unknowns of this offense and touchdown potential there. Dotson, I really think I'm starting to go all in on Dotson. The reports are great. He looks great. Clear number 2. I'm starting to really like him, and you guys know I'm like a Tim Patrick stan. I really think he's a talented player. So I think that was a good team. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Tomorrow we'll be live, 8 p.m. Eastern, doing some Underdog drafts, answering any questions you have. So if you have any questions, this player or that player, what do I think about this guy? What do I think about this news? Come to the draft, 8 p.m. Eastern, live on YouTube. I'll answer any questions that you guys ask. And then Wednesday, I don't know what this week's strategy video is. We'll return with the strategy content on Wednesday. That, my friends, is the end of this one. Hope you all enjoyed. If you did, how about hitting the like button and how about subscribing to the channel if you're new here. Thanks for watching.